Nightfall in a war-torn neighborhood in the Sudanese city of Omdurman. You are watching a thermal imaging video depicting military forces equipped in high-tech gear, far more sophisticated than the Sudanese have demonstrated to date. And here, a series of high-precision daytime strikes raining down from the sky, in and around the same city, hitting targets backed by Russia's Wagner mercenary group in Sudan. A Ukrainian military source told CNN this is the work of a foreign military. Pressed on whether they would say unequivocally that Kyiv was behind the attacks, the source would only say that Ukrainian special services were likely responsible, which would constitute a dramatic expansion in Kyiv's theatre of war against Moscow. Previous CNN investigations exposed that the Sudanese paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, RSF, has been heavily backed by Wagner as they fight the Sudanese army in a war for dominance. CNN obtained a series of videos of the operation showing 14 different strikes on RSF weapons and equipment believed to be provided by Wagner. We pinpointed 7 different locations of the drone strikes in Omdurman, an RSF stronghold that has become a focal point of the conflict, and we geolocated footage of the night raid to the same city by identifying the buildings seen here. The drone video obtained by CNN had already been edited, but clues remain as to the identity of those behind the attacks. Text on the monitor of the drone controller seen here is in Ukrainian.
Press to start recording.
These commercially available drones are widely used by Ukrainian forces. They have a maximum video transmission range of around 9 miles. That means we can tell that the pilots of the drones were in Sudan, close by. It's a common tactic in Ukraine, but not so much in Sudan. Drone experts consulted by CNN said this is the first time drones like this have been deployed in this fashion in Africa. CNN shared the videos with a high-level source in Sudan's army for comment, who said they had no knowledge of a Ukrainian operation in Sudan and did not believe it was true. Sudan became embroiled in Russia's war against Ukraine last year, despite being thousands of miles from the front line. When, as we reported, Wagner exploited Sudan's gold resources to help finance Moscow's Ukraine war effort, circumventing US sanctions on Russia. After a plane carrying Wagner leader Yevgeny Prigozhin plummeted to the ground late last month, many believed that Wagner's influence would recede. But just the opposite has happened. Military whistleblowers in a number of African countries have told CNN that the Kremlin is consolidating its power over Wagner's networks in the Central African Republic, in Sudan, in Libya, and in Mali. And now that network has expanded further, this time into Chad. Chad has really been impacted by the fighting in neighboring Sudan, and yet it's emerging as a key transit point for supplies to the Rapid Support Forces in Sudan, part of an expansion of Russia's influence in Africa. Cross-referencing testimony from intelligence and military sources active in the region with satellite imagery, CNN has uncovered evidence that Wagner arms crossed through Chad within the last 2 weeks to get to an RSF military base in Sudan. If you look closely, you can see over 100 vehicles, including scores of trucks at the base, proof the supplies provided by Russia, Wagner, continue. A strike on Wagner-backed forces in Sudan would constitute a blow to Moscow. If it is Ukraine, they will have raised the stakes for those willing to accept Wagner's backing in the future. A lesson illustrating the price they could be forced to pay for cooperating with Russia. Ne'em al-Bagher, CNN, and N'Djamena, Chad.